companies need to be profitable. In order to have happy, healthy organizations, you got to have happy, healthy employees.
What we really want to strive for is helping our customers learn how to be proactive and plan better so that they don't have to put fires out all day. When you're estimating, whether it's specific cultivar level or just, here's what a 4-inch B&B shade tree is going to cost you roundabouts, passing that information so it doesn't matter how many humans in your workflow touch that job, all of the information is always at their fingertips.
The unknown thing for people not in the software industry is that every company really gets to a pricing model that ultimately delivers to them a percentage of their customers' revenue. We wanted to create the most value opportunity we could for our clients.
Hey everyone, Jack Jostes here. Welcome to the Landscaper's Guide podcast. Today, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina at NALP's Elevate show, and I'm talking with Mark Tipton, the CEO, and Whitney Griffin, the senior product owner from Aspire. And we're going to talk about some ways that you can get more done with the same amount of people on your team, how you can improve efficiencies, and thanks for coming on the Landscaper's Guide.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us, Jack.
So, Mark, tell us a little bit, what are some of the ways, obviously one of the biggest challenges in the landscape industry is labor, finding people, retaining people. I've been doing a sales and marketing survey for years, and finding and recruiting people continues to be either the number one or number two challenge in the industry. So what are some tips that you'd have for landscape companies, just big ideas to think about to be more efficient with their team?
Well, labor is probably something that impacts 100% of our customers. It's a big deal, and it's a big part of what we do as Aspire, is we help companies manage their labor more effectively. Aspire's actually been used as a great tool to recruit talent to the team. A lot of the talent looks at a system like Aspire and says, yeah, I want to be part of an organization that's using the technology, that's leveraging it, that creates better opportunities for myself. And then, of course, the guts of the Aspire system is really all about managing the jobs, managing them effectively, and dealing with all the challenges of managing jobs. We're going to talk about construction today, which is an ever-evolving, changing project. Right? Very few construction projects are, here's the plan, go do it. It changes along the way, and that creates a lot of challenges in labor management. And so that's a big piece of what we do in our software.
Yeah, really when companies don't have that structure in place, they don't have a system for managing things, that creates more stress for the team, right? And that leads to employee turnover or challenges like that, and then obviously decreased profitability.
Yeah, it's huge. Companies need to be profitable. In order to have happy, healthy organizations, you got to have happy, healthy employees, right, that are not overworked, that are given the appropriate amount of work for the time that they have, and having solid systems that allow you to estimate accurately, number one, and then manage to the numbers that you estimated. It's huge.
So Whitney, tell us a little more, what is a senior product owner and what do you do at Aspire?
So a senior product owner is someone who works as a liaison really between the software development teams and our customers and other stakeholders. And so our engineers are very valuable to us. We want them writing code. We want them thinking about problems in the code and how to create creative solutions to the problems that our customers have as much as possible. And so my role is really to ask the right questions of our customers. If they come to us and say, hey, I have this problem and I really wish that you could fix this, it's my job to ask them the right questions and figure out what can we do to deliver this functionality, and then break that down and convert it into kind of software development speak, so that our software developers can actually build what our customers need.
And how did you arrive at this position? Were you hired to be the senior product owner, or did you get promoted into it? What were some of the things that led you to learn how to do this?
Yeah, so I was actually hired as a product owner, which means that I worked with a specific development team. We were very much a family, and I was kind of the leader of the team to kind of keep us on track and make sure that we were delivering. I was promoted up into senior product owner role, which means I'm not directly working with a single team. I'm kind of managing multiple different teams to deliver construction functionality specifically right now, and I get a little bit more customer interaction and more direct involvement with customers to actually see what they need.
Well, so what are some of the challenges that when you're talking with landscape company owners that they're facing on the construction side from a planning standpoint? What are some of maybe the mistakes or challenges you see them making that you try and help them with?
I think the most common problem that really everyone faces, honestly, is that everyone does things differently. With maintenance, it's really easy. Kind of everyone knows the scopes of work are always going to be kind of the same, and different companies do have different SOPs, but generally you're going to be delivering the same amount of work. And so with construction, every job is different, and everyone's SOPs are different, and it can be difficult to ask them, like, well, what are your procedures? Often they don't have any. It's very much a fly by the seat of your pants, day to day, putting out fires and reactivity. And what we really want to strive for is helping our customers learn how to be proactive and plan better so that they don't have to put fires out all day.
What are the top one or two things that if you could wave the magic wand and your customers were more proactive in planning, what would it be?
Getting their trucks ready and prepared at the end of the day for the next day's rollout. Don't do that in the dark at 6 a.m. I came from the industry. That was something really hard. We would start the season with end of day truck prep, and by June, July, that's out the window, and we're just in panic mode. And I think getting everyone to commit to that would be huge. And we do have customers who operate that way, and they are more efficient.
So end of day preparation for the next day.
Yeah, load your truck at the end of the day before you clock out and leave, so that when you show up at 6 a.m., you're tired, your coffee hasn't taken effect yet, you just get in the truck and you go, and then by the time you get to the job site, you're ready.
I like that. I personally try and plan my day that way, and when I don't,
everything falls apart.
It does. So tell me about Gantt charts. We were talking when we met about Gantt charts. What is a Gantt chart, first of all? And how can it be used in a construction project?
Yeah, so a Gantt chart is a visualization. It's a bar graph that basically breaks tasks down into horizontal bars. And the way you can break the tasks out, you can get as granular as you want, but it's essentially a way of saying, okay, I have this whole big job and I need to do site prep and irrigation and some hardscaping and planting. And it's a way to look at the breakdown of time, so the bar graph equals time, so you can visualize, okay, well, I can't really put my plants in the ground until all of my site prep is done, but maybe I can start my irrigation before it's completely done, and suddenly instead of having a task after a task after a task, you can identify when you can have some overlap and increase that efficiency so that maybe you trim a day or two off of a job.
So let's pretend that I plan the most beautiful Gantt chart, right? I've got everything planned, and now my customer comes out and says, you know what, we want to add a patio over here, or how about this walkway that we want to add on, or we do want the water feature you told us about, or whatever change order. How do you manage? I think really that's where construction gets especially challenging, is all the changes in it. So what are some ways that listeners can manage that?
I think when you have a visual, and maybe I'm just a visual person, but for me, when you have a visualization and you can see these are the tasks that I have, and you know which crews are going to be delivering which tasks, if someone does say, hey, that patio I had you cut out, I want that now, you can quickly see, okay, which crews are equipped to do this, which have the skill set to do that type of work, and can I move things around? If this needs to be done in the backyard, can I move my crews to the front yard? Can I move them somewhere else on site so that they're out of the way and not tripping all over each other? Or maybe you're so far done that you were almost finished with the job and you just pluck one crew from another job, put them there to finish the change order, deliver it, get your final payment, and go.
So it kind of helps you see the dependencies too, right? This has to be finished before I can begin this work, and the Gantt chart, as she said, visually lays all that out.
And so is that part of dynamic forecasting at Aspire, or is that something different?
Dynamic forecasting is a little bit different, but the Gantt chart and dynamic forecasting do inform each other. So dynamic forecasting within Aspire is a way to forecast out your sold backlog. You can sell $10 million worth of work, right? But if when you actually start planning it, if none of those general contractors are going to let you on site for 2 months, you still haven't sold enough work. You have to have enough hours for your guys to put food on the table, and you have to have revenue coming in to meet your budget for those months. So with dynamic forecasting, you can forecast out multiple years of a sold backlog so that you can identify very quickly what months do I need to sell more, what months do I have too many hours and I need to either move things around or maybe talk about getting a subcontractor on site so that I can do all of this work.
One of the challenges I'm hearing from people, and that you said you're hearing too, is with vendor management. What are some of the issues that you're hearing right now in 2024?
One of the things I'm hearing, well, there's kind of multiple issues. One of the big ones is you don't really know if you're going to be able to find everything you need from your preferred vendors, right? And so if you have a landscape architect that specified a really specific cultivar, maybe the nurseries that you typically go to don't have that. You may end up needing to go to a small mom and pop grower to find that thing. There's a lot of time and overhead involved with sourcing those materials. There's also the issue of things not being available. The biggest problem is, or biggest challenge rather, is a lot of companies don't have their companies staffed similarly. So sometimes a company may have a purchaser and their role is purchasing and they don't have any context into the jobs. They see a list of what they need to order. They don't know the difference between an autumn blaze maple and a September autumn glory maple, but they're going to order that because that's what on the list. Or you may have a project manager that's managing the whole job and they're responsible for purchasing for their own jobs, and they know on the fly what they can and can't change things out for. You also could have an estimator that's estimating items that once the job is won, they don't care. They're going to hand it off to someone else to deliver, and so whatever details they put in the estimate is what you get. And so I think for, streamlining so that whatever vendors you get quotes from when you're estimating, whether it's specific cultivar level or just, here's what a 4-inch B&B shade tree is going to cost you roundabouts, passing that information so it doesn't matter how many humans in your workflow touch that job, all of the information is always at their fingertips.
So I think you got a sense for what Whitney does, right? The way she talks through the issues and really understanding the challenges our customers are dealing with. Whitney worked with 15, 20 customers on this construction project. That was a very collaborative process where they would sit down, walk through specific topics. Whitney would lay out, hey, here's how we can address this, get feedback, listen to their ideas. And so understanding the problems is so key to what we do, because we can't fix the problem if we don't understand it. And she does a phenomenal job in working with our creative engineers who can build amazing things when they have good direction.
Well, it's great that you get to work with both the client and the internal team who does it.
Fun.
Mark, I'd like to address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
What's the deal with Aspire charging a percentage of revenue? Now,
Yes.
I want to qualify that I run a mastermind, I have the podcast, I have over 100 clients, and we recommend Aspire as one of the softwares that people consider, and one of the rumblings I hear from people is, well, Aspire charges a percentage of revenue. So can you just clarify for us what is the pricing model and why do you do it that way?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a percentage of revenue, which is a little different, right, than most people have experienced within a software system. So we're what you call software as a service, SaaS. And so it's subscription pricing. People pay a monthly fee. That's how we do our pricing. A lot of companies will do it based on user count or number of crews you have, or we've got another software package that we also represent that prices it based on the number of customers you have. The kind of the unknown thing for people not in the software industry is that every company really gets to a pricing model that ultimately delivers to them a percentage of their customers' revenue. And so we just decided to go with it up front and just be very forthcoming with it and say this is it. And we really did it because we wanted to create the most value opportunity we could for our clients. And because a lot of companies that sell user licenses, a lot of their customers will buy less user licenses than are ideal for them to use the software effectively in their business. And so we wanted to take that off the table. Say it doesn't matter how many users you have. you've got this much revenue, you're going to pay this price whether you have one person using the software or every single person in the company using the software. And that's what we want. We literally want every single person in the company in the software. That is where you're going to get the most value. With a system like ours that's comprehensive, that covers everything from the early stages of the sales process all the way through invoicing and everything in between, the more people that are in the system, touching the system, the more effective the communication is, the better the workflows are, the more trust you can have in your data. And so we really went with a percent of revenue to take the friction away so people weren't deciding, oh, you're a user, you're not a user, and that's the bottom line. But again, the other bottom line is every software company looks at it as percent of their customers' revenue.
Well, yeah, so if you visualize your profit and loss statement, and hopefully you have your various softwares by brand name in your P&L, and you can look at it, if you take the dollar amount and divide it by your top line revenue, it is a percentage of revenue.
That's true.
Whether you buy it that way from Aspire or you use a different software, it already is a percentage of revenue.
Yeah, so I'm part of ServiceTitan, right? Much bigger software company than us. They charge based on managed technicians, so they're in plumbing, HVAC, electrical. So if you want to use ServiceTitan software, you're going to pay a fee per managed technician. On the back end, we analyze that as what percentage of revenue is it of our customers' revenue. So whether we charge for it to the customer that way, we're going to back into that number by user charge or technician charge or truck charge, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a good point of, if you're thinking of it as a per user fee, then you may be less likely to add the users that you really need, and now you're getting partial value of the program.
Yeah, we wanted to just take that off the table and say we want you to use the software in the most effective way that you can use it. And so you really there's no friction there. You're incented to get everybody in it.
So talk to me about the payment terms. So let's pretend that I have a highly seasonal business, and is it based on the revenue of that month? Is it paid at the end of the year? Is it billed quarterly? Maybe May, June, July, August, I have 50% more revenue than the other months of the year. Do I pay 50% more during those months, or how does it work from an actual cash flow standpoint?
Yeah, we experimented with that and found out customers didn't love that as much. They like the consistency of, I know what my bill's going to be.
So is it based on last year's revenue, or?
So yeah, we reset annually, but we start off with and we look at your trailing 12 months. So if you start in June, we look at the previous 12 months to June, and that's your rate. And then next June, we'll do the same thing and reset it based on that.
So who is Mark Tipton? What should we know about you as the CEO?
I am a father of two, a proud father of two. So I've got two kids who are now in college, and my wife and I are enjoying a little flexibility and freedom, which is great. I love this industry. I've been in it for 20 years now. 2004 was my introduction into the green industry. And just the opportunity to serve contractors in this space it's been amazing for me. I've gotten to meet so many amazing people. I've been on an amazing journey with Aspire. Aspire started 11 years ago, with me and my co-founder, Kevin. Kevin. We're over 600 people today, and so it's been an amazing journey, a fun journey, and we get to do things that are very impactful. One of our purpose statement as an organization is changing lives, and we get to see that in our customers all the time, and how we improve their lives, not just make them a more profitable, better company. We obviously want to do that, but we have a much bigger, broader impact than that. And so when you have a customer come up to you and say, I'm spending more time at home, I'm with my family more. I had a customer who I was talking with a couple months ago that was telling me his story, which is an amazing story. And he's like, I'm sending my kid to a private school, his little daughter. It was just like, that was so meaningful to him. He grew up with nothing. And now he has the ability, because he's built an amazing business. We're a piece of that. We're contributing to that. But for us to hear that, for Whitney to hear that, for the rest of our team to hear that, it's incredibly motivating for us. So that's what drives me. That's what why I enjoy being a part of this industry so much, and feeling the impact you make, right? To know that your work is significant. Like when I get up and work today, it's making a difference, not just for me, but for other people.
I love that. I love that about the work I do in this industry too, and I love hearing you say that, because it really does change people's lives when those things happen and they get time with their family or all those different things.
Yeah.
Where are you taking the company? What's your vision for the next few years?
Well, about a year ago we said, or a year and a half ago we said, hey, our customers have a big need that we're not completely fulfilling in construction. And so we made the big investment there that Whitney's led, and you've heard a bit about what we've done there. As we look to the future, we have some more work to do on the construction side, but we're going to invest in some other areas too. Site audits, inspections, those are a big one for us, but we still have to round out the construction functionality. And as you look across the application, whether it's the customer portal, the subcontractor portal, there's lots of features that we're going to invest in over the next 12 months, 24 months. We're going to be introducing a lot of AI related functionality. Part of our partnership with ServiceTitan is our ability to include products that they've developed into our software. We've done that with Marketing Pro. You're going to see us do that with something called Contact Center Pro. We're rolling out Sales Pro very soon. And these are all AI tools that really bring a lot of just tremendous value to the contractor, because they automate a lot of tedious work. And they consume a lot of data that a person couldn't consume, because you've got a machine doing it and making some intelligent decisions with it. So those are some things we're working on as an organization. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to add customers. We're going to continue to find ways to serve this industry better and continue to improve ourselves and the industry as a whole.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, Whitney, thanks for coming on the Landscaper's Guide. It was good to learn how you solve some of these challenges in the industry, and hopefully people have a better understanding of how they're already going to be paying a percentage of revenue for whatever software they're using, and why you have your pricing model the way you do. Like today's video and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get upcoming videos to help you grow your snow and landscape company. My name's Jack Jostes, and check out my free resources in the show notes, and click the next video to grow your business. Today I'm at NALP's Elevate show in Charlottesville, North Carolina, and
You like the bill.
I like the bill.